What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well today. So today, October 10th, DICE dropped its first tweet regarding turning tides. Now, the tweet itself didn't give us really much significant information, nothing that we had already known before. However, though, this is a big pivotal moment in the turn of focus for DICE, now moving away from Name Nazar, and will begin to start advertising turning tides coming up here in the next couple of months, prior to its release date in December. They did after that have a Q&A with one of the producers at DICE that gave us a little bit more information in regards to what will be coming out in this DLC. Now, the Q&A was with DICE producer Andrew Galata. If you're not familiar with this individual, he's usually the one of the guys that is on the streams when they're going over what's going to be coming out prior to the monthly updates. And so the conversations are in between with him. And keep in mind that these are just a little teases here and there. They're of course not going to spoil anything at this point, but they're going to kind of keep it the conversation going and keep us intrigued. And for the people who are really looking for any little details here and there, this would be the video and the conversation that you're going to want to be a part of. Now, one of the first things I was very interested in to see what would be coming out is if there would be a new behemoth at all coming out. This question was asked, and as far as we're concerned, there won't be any new behemoths coming out. However, though, there is going to be a new elite class coming out. So again, these are just teasers. They're not going to give us really any in-depth information, but they're going to point us down the right path and let us know what will be coming out without giving us too much details to kind of spoil the fun of what will be coming out in the future here. So now, when you read the information given to us about turning tides, it says there's going to be a focus on naval warfare. So one of the questions that was asked was if there were going to be any dedicated attack boat of sort, a vehicle other than the standard array of boats we already have. It was responded with, we will have more to say about your Navy fleet options real soon. We're not adding another attack boat, think bigger. So that is kind of interesting, the fact that we have to think bigger than what the attack boats are already right now. So the attack boats already right now really don't have too much of a play until they're really, you can use them against a dreadnought, or you can kind of use them off a little bit of the coastal line sometimes, but they're mainly, to battle the dreadnought when you're trying to take the behemoth out. And you can battle some attack boats, but you really can't do much after that. You can fire some people on land if you want to. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how big it gets. Obviously, I don't think it's going to get as big as the dreadnought is, and be as big as that, because that would kind of take away the idea of what a behemoth is. But anything bigger is going to mean how much this boat's going to be in play when you come to playing the actual game itself. So just get an idea of how it feels like to play with the boats and what you can do with it already, attacking land and sort of things like that with people on the ground. But think how this is going to play out with it in itself. So in an amphibious assault, a lot of times too, these vehicles are used, or these boats, would be used to flank places on the actual land itself. So that is interesting. One question I kind of thought up a little bit later that I wish I probably could have asked, see if they would have answered it, is if there's going to actually be the use of submarines on it. Now, I know in one of the battles, submarines were used for sure in that battle, so it will be kind of interesting to see if submarines are actually brought into the actual game itself. I think it would be kind of interesting to kind of bring that in. I think it would be fun to have that new type of vehicle in itself. Of course, I said think bigger on the lines of, it seems like I would think more of a boat. That could as well mean as well to a submarine as well. I would imagine a submarine they could fall under that as well, and that could be a little bit, it would be bigger than the attack boats that you would be seeing being used in the game as it is right now. So I don't know how it's going to take place, whether they're going to use a submarine or if they're going to use a larger vessel. You probably would be able to understand a little bit more for people who are more historians along this field. Of course, I'm just kind of condensing this all into one short little video and kind of seeing where this could take us, but I'm just more of a novice of person when it comes to the history and certain things like that, so I'm just more in the speculating matter. We'll see what ends up happening. Of course, they're going to give us more details, but we will expect more of an emphasis of the actual vessels and ships being used in the water. So you're going to see more of a focus onto this, and it's going to be a different feel. It's going to be in Turning Tides again, with using more things on the water. We got a little bit of a touch of this when we played some Albion, gave it a little bit more of a weight of this. There's been other maps in the vanilla maps that gave it a little bit feel, just very softly though, off of a feel of how it would feel to be around and playing around water more. But I think definitely in this update we're going to see a bit of a change, and we're going to see how this turns out overall. Now these were a couple questions that I had seen kind of float around before. And this will finally get solved. People were asking if they're going to see Japan in the war, and there's another question about if there are going to be any more of the American infantry factions that are going to be expressed anymore. And they said for this update they're going to be solely focused on the British naval, or the British Royal Marines. So we should expect them only to be focused on this. And as he had replied in one of the questions, about when asked if the British Royal Marines, does that mean we'll be seeing the British naval uniforms in expansion? And he replied with saying the Royal Marines had some pretty iconic uniforms, so we should expect a little bit of some interesting artwork, and how that will be used. Of course, the classic dice style of portraying this as they do. So again, it's gonna be focused on the Royal Marines, and from the 2 battles that are going to be taking place that they've advertised so far, we're going to be seeing them going up against, one side will be against the Germans, and then on another battle they'll be facing against the Ottoman Empire. Wrapping up with the last little things that they had teased for us. So if you had been a part of a little bit of the watching some of the YouTubers in the Battlefield community as of last week, you would have known that Westy and people like Flakfire as well came out looking at some of the key art for Turning Tides, and noticed that there was a grappling hook involved, and started speculating whether this would be involved or not. Westy did jump on board off of this Q&A and asked if this is going to be confirmed. And they did say the hook is in plans, but it may function a bit different than you think. So that is confirmed. The grappling hook will be in Turning Tides. However, though, we just don't know exactly how that's going to take place. With that said, another question was asked if there are going to be new guns, and there will be new guns, of course. That is kind of the theme when it comes to DLCs, at least, is that new maps and new guns do come with the new DLCs. It might be a little bit different when it comes to monthly updates, but definitely for DLCs, maps and new guns are definitely confirmed. So there was, again, a question that they did ask about if it's going to have 6 maps like in the Name of the Tsar. And they said that it will not be the case, that the Name of the Tsar was the largest amount of maps that they had for one DLC. So you won't be expecting 6, but I wouldn't expect any less than 4, considering that They Shall Not Pass came out with 4 maps. They did, of course, add Novell Knights and Priest de Tour after that. But if you do remember, Priest de Tour was kind of the surprise map that kind of came out of nowhere. So I would at least expect 4 maps. And then maybe, hopefully, hope for maybe a 5th map that will drop on a monthly update. But I would expect at least 4 and hope for maybe 5. The CTE was brought up and asked when we could see Turning Tides coming to the CTE. And all that was responded to that was about the CTE is a big part of our development process, so stay tuned. So, of course, we're going to see it come to the CTE when. I'm not really sure. They didn't give us anything to tell us about it. Of course, it's going to be coming out in December. So, I mean, I would assume probably in more the weeks ahead, we could probably expect it dropping out at the CTE. Let me know down below if you're able to get into CTE or not. I'll link an annotation for the people who don't really know how to get onto that. I have a tutorial of how you get involved with the CTE. But if you've already gone through that video and everything about that, let me know down below in the comments below if you guys are still able to get into the CTE, just to make sure we can get as much people as we can into that, and there's no more of that kind of the hiccups that we had when the CTE first got launched. So again, let me know down below if you guys are able to get into the CTE, and make sure that we're all going to be good and set for when Turning Tides drop. So that basically sums up everything that was confirmed and not confirmed in this Turning Tides. Where we're beginning to basically focus on this new update coming out. Again, thanks to everyone in the community there asking all those questions right there. This makes it very helpful when people are already kind of thinking the same thing you're thinking in regards if there's going to be a behemoth or not, or if there's going to be a new elite class, and people are already on top of that. So it makes it much easier for people like me who don't even have to tweet that and ask that because someone's already ahead of you on it. So again, thanks to the community for doing all that. And that's basically it for you guys today on the video today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys being here. I am Living, and I'll catch you guys again later. Peace.